Let's introduce the defensive alignment for GTL as they take the field. Their pitcher is Chad Munger, the catcher is Jason Chamizo. Down at first is Don Wilson, the second baseman is Victor Cordova, at third is Sam Lopez, and the shortstop is Anthony Dress. Down in left is Donovan Pokraka, the center fielder is Rick Sedlogic, the right fielder is Mike Boland, and the middle infielder and Brian Blount up the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice that GTL, all their players are wearing the same number 40. That is in honor of JC Phelps, a longtime softball player who recently died, an untimely and unexpected death within the last week or so. So wonderful in memory of JC Phelps by GTL.
Yeah. Here we go with the game number 2, 2009 Men's Major World Series presented by Worth, Mikan, Combat, TPS, Nationwide, On Your Side, Easton, and Boomba. Glad to have you with us alongside Rick Robertson, Bernie Gunther. 2009 Men's Major World Series presented by Busch Light. And we got a chance to see plenty of GTL. Last time we were in the booth about a month ago for the Men's A World Series, and here they are taking on Combat. Great crew with us. They are really elated about these games. And Rick, welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you very much, Bernie. As you said, GTL, the Men's A World Champions. And if you look on the field and get a chance to look at the back of their jerseys, everyone's wearing number 40, and a tribute to JC Phelps.
Kyle Decker leads off the game, pops out to Donovan Pokraka.
Left to retire the fly ball of Decker.
As we said last night, JC died unexpectedly this past Friday. And he played with GTL last year, and this is a wonderful tribute. I don't know if Myra, his wife, is having a chance to listen to us this morning. I talked to her yesterday, also the day before. Of course, devastated. But JC, the biggest smile in slow pitch softball, the gentle giant, is definitely missed. Julio Salazar,
third baseman at the plate. Ron Fields is right behind him. And a very busy start for Donovan Pokraka as he has the first 2 outs of the contest.
Pokraka again in left field retires Salazar. There's 2 outs for Ron Fields.
Ronnie Fields started the year with a team called PIPAC. Moved over to Combat USA. Good pickup for him. Bats third in the lineup. Good pop in his bat.
And GTL is looking for a very quick 1-2-3, top of the first.
Umpire behind the plate, Dan Sullivan out of New Hampshire. Don Lombard from Kansas at first. Over at second, Carlos Childress out of Florida. And at third, Stevie Boy Christie.
There's our first base hit of the ball game. Neither Dress, Lopez, nor Blunt could pick it up on the left side of the infield. And Ron Fields is aboard. Here's Charles Cunningham.
Kind of a CNI single there, Bernie. Just scooted through the left side. Fields keeps him from going 3 up, 3 down here in the first.
A little bit of cloud coverage. Currently 84 degrees in Central Florida, but it feels like 90. And even if you're in an air-conditioned room, it's a little warm right now. So I can imagine what it's like down there on the field, or even under that umbrella. There's Steve Salute. You see him behind home plate.
He, along with our general counsel, David Evall, checking bats. They'll check every home run hit and anything hit hard back up the middle towards the pitcher.
There's one hit back up the middle for a base hit, but certainly not one that will get tested. Because, of course, you mentioned if it's back up the middle, it needs to be one that goes after a pitcher. I would assume, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. That's an important part, right?
Yes, sir. Reminder of the run rule: 30 after 3, 20 after 4, 15 after 5. You saw that in the last game when TaylorMade defeated Woodlaw 29-14 at the end of 6 innings.
That's going to end the inning. Brian Blunt steps on the bag, and combat is blanked in the top of the first inning. We'll see the defending men's A champion GTL come to the plate when we come back to Disney's Wide World of Sports, the 2009 Men's Major World Series, presented by Busch Light.
Due up for GTL Cartel are Logic, Pokraka, and Bolin. Leading off center fielder, Rick Sedlogic.
Sedlogic leads off bottom of the first inning, and he's going to be aboard. A lot of confusion there at first base. Charles Cunningham couldn't tag the bag and hold on to the ball.
The smash is right at.
Well, Sedlogic smashed up one hopper down there, tough. Handcuffed him on the play, then he bobbled it and kicked it around. Sedlogic hustles in. I don't know the official scoring, what, a single and an error? But he didn't advance.
No, so it has to go down as an error.
I would think E3, yes.
Base. Donovan Pokraka at the plate. He'll be followed by Mike Bolin.
Pokraka, all-conference player. Sedlogic, all-conference. Pokraka hails from Colorado.
And he has a base hit past Charles Cunningham on the right side of the infield. And GTL runners on the corners. And you see what a difference, we talk about it all the time, but errors Huh. Struggling there with our reception for a moment. The airs really come back to bite you sometime, don't they?
Yes, indeed. Instead of one out and one runner on, there's nobody out. Runners over at first and third, and Bolin, Mike Bolin, the batter.
And Bolin, a liner. Right at Kyle Decker, I believe that's who that was, the middle infielder.
Yes, it was. He grabbed that, snagged it right out of the air, saved probably a double.
Kevin Philby.
Kevin Philby, quite a bit of power. Also the second pitcher, or the first, depending. Him and Chad Munger swap out. Chad Munger, the men's A MVP in the A world.
Combat as an out here, and Kevin Philby is at the plate.
Cena trying to quick pitch Philby, but our umpire Dan Sullivan, once again with his hand up, says no pitch. I'll tell you when to put it in play.
Steve Saluch working on the positioning of the umbrella behind home plate. That's a very important aspect. Philby, sky high ball under it, and it drifts into the stands, and that's a wild way to have out number two. Just missing a big opportunity there.
For Sam Lopez.
Only one away, and runners at the corners put the ball in play. Instead, he fouls out for a strikeout. And the power hitting Sam Lopez. All world in the men's A world, Mr. Sam Lopez, the third baseman.
There's a base hit, and GTL does finally score just over Vasquez, the shortstop.
Lopez with a drive to left.
And it's GTL striking first
comes in to score.
with Sam Lopez's RBI single that scored Rick said logic.
Victor Cordova.
So one run in here in the bottom of the first. GTL marks first. The smooth running, slick fielding Victor Cordova, also a member of the All-World and All-Conference teams.
Down the line, and it's a fair ball.
Cordova with a ground double over the right field wall. Polkraka comes in
with a double to score Donovan Polkraka. It's 2-0 GTL.
Advantage.
The ground rule double either got through that fence on the right or over the fence out there. Cordova was only going to move to second anyway because Lopez in front of him had stopped at third. So now there's runners at second and third, two away, two runners on.
And Don Wilson is at the plate.
He's a player slash sponsor. Sponsors along with Charles Garcia and Doug Reed. And Doug Reed was very close to JC Phelps.
On the ground, there's a base hit. That'll tack on two more. It's 4-0, a 2 RBI single for Don Wilson.
Lopez and Cordova touch home.
Donnie Wilson, a perennial all-conference player.
Catcher Jason Chamizo.
showed a lot of class in the men's A world, sat himself, played the best hitters for that weekend, played sparingly, still made the all-world team.
And that one is foul.
The winner of this game will take on Rismondo tonight at 8:30 p.m.
I'm sure that's an exciting task for both of these guys to think about.
Oh, yes. 5-second call by the umpire behind the plate. Cena winding up, faking, and it took a little bit long, so that's a ball on the batter. We've already filled the 7 p.m. game. Dan Smith will take on the winner of our first game, TaylorMade.
And a walk. Jason Chesmizo is aboard at first on Wilson to second. And
Chesmizo draws the
Chad Munger.
Wilson goes over to second.
As I said, Chad Munger, the MVP for men's A. The pitcher, he pitched and fielded his position very well.
And he hits it on the ground. Great glove there by Salazar. Tosses it across the diamond to second, and that'll retire the side. GTL able to tack on 4. We got an inning in the book. It's 4-0 GTL on top of Combat. Disney's Wide World of Sports in the 2009 Men's Major World Series. Here for you, USSSA.com.
Due up in the top of the second are Granados, Salcedo, and Smith.
Hey, this is Brett Helmer. I'm Brian Wegman, getting ready to drop some bombs with the 09 Easton bat line.
That commercial brought to you by David DiDonatis. Easton, one of our big sponsors. And David DiDonatis behind the controls of this game today. And not a great start at all for Combat. And a game where you'd like to bat 500. They have 2 hits. And the first 7 batters that have come to the plate. Mario is retired.
Victor Cordova picks it up and gets it over to first to Donnie Wilson for the first out. Bernie, I received a text from JC's wife, Myra. Says, Rick, I'm watching all the games. I can feel the love from the softball community. Thank you for remembering him in your commentary. Myra, our thoughts and prayers and love go out to you. And I hope you enjoy the broadcast. And we're missing him and really wish you the best. I'll be in touch with you, Myra.
Ronnie Salcedo has only the second base hit of the ball game for Combat USA. Or excuse me, the third hit of the ball game. The first here in the second inning, and that'll bring up Joey Smith, the right fielder.
Salcedo aboard with a 1-out single, and that brings up Joey Smith.
So here's Joey Smith. Smith on the ground, gets through Don Wilson's legs, and look at that play. Victor Cordova with a little bit of backup, and he throws it over the pitcher for out.
Smith is retired
number 2.
at first. Salcedo
Well, the ball gets by Donnie Wilson. Victor Cordova hustles behind him. Chad Munger, the pitcher, moves over to first. Nice cover job. They get the out. The second out of the inning. That's one of the reasons you know Chad Munger was the men's A MVP. I said earlier he pitched well and fielded his position well. Nice hustle.
Two away, and here's Carlos Vasquez. Rob Cena, the pitcher, is due up behind him. And the weather gets nice every time the sun ducks behind the clouds.
Vasquez draws the 2-out walk to fill the open first base, and that brings up pitcher Rob Cena.
And here's the pitcher, Rob.
Says it's still 84 degrees out, but inside here it feels 104.
And we have air conditioning, believe it or not.
That's
I know that's hard to believe. Imagine if you were Matt O'Hara running the third base camera.
Oof.
Brian Blunt scoops it up, throws it to second. Side retired. Combat is blanked. Once again, they have only 3 hits so far through an inning and a half. GTL is up by 4.
They score none. Due up in the home half are Dress, Blount, and Sidlogic.
GTL in combat, 4-0. Bottom of the 4th inning.
Bottom of the second.
Or excuse me, bottom of the second. See, we've already done, what are we at? We're on game number 6. Opposite field, there's a base hit.
That's Anthony Dress leading off the inning with a single. Brings up Brian Blunt, number 40, on deck number 40, in the hole number 40.
Yeah, the whole team wearing 40. And certainly a great time to remember one of the great all-time players, and JC Phelps.
As I said yesterday, Bernie, the USSSA Board of Directors has nominated and elected JC Phelps into the USSSA National Hall of Fame this weekend. He will be inducted at the 2010 meeting in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Is that where we're at in 2010?
Yes, sir. 2009 this year, we're in California at the Pachanga Resort in San Diego.
On the ground, back-to-back hits. Brian Blunt is aboard. Anthony Dress holds at third, and Blunt's actually going to get to second on the overthrow. So a single and an error would be officially how they mark it. Of course, here at the ballpark, all we get is runs on the scoreboard, not even hits.
Yeah, they don't show the hits or the errors, but that definitely was an error. The ball got through.
And they probably do that out of respect for the players, too, that we don't throw the errors up, because we might have 5 or 6 per game.
Well, I certainly believe they play pretty good defense out here for the most part.
Down the line into the corner, curving foul.
Said Logic showing some power. Hit that deep into the right field corner. Rick said Logic covers a lot of ground out there in center field when he plays defense. Usually bats well over 600, even 700 on base percentage. Consummate leadoff hitter Rick Sedlogic here for GTL.
Sedlogic trying to tack on 2 more for GTL. They're up by 4.
They could really put a lot of pressure with a big number this inning.
Combat has been blanked so far. Sedlogic opposite way over the glove of Salazar. That'll be 2 more. A 2 RBI double, 6-0 in favor of the defending A champions.
Sedlogic shoots a line drive into left. Easily into second. Salazar unable to snag it. So there's nobody out. 6 runs total in for GTL.
And just past the glove of Kyle Decker into center field to Aguilar. That's a double and an RBI for Donovan Polkraka. Here's Mike Bolin.
So Polkraka and Sedlogic trade positions. And the lead is now 7.
7-0 with a runner on second. And Bolin at the plate. And a called strike there. And a walk has been issued.
Not what you want to do here, Bernie, walk anybody. I say it every game. Walk is as good as a hit. 9 out of 10 times a run scores because of the walk. So GTL has runners at first and second. Nobody out. Bottom of the second. And Kevin Philby the batter.
See what Philby can do with Bolin on first and Polkraka on second.
Philby fouled out his first time at bat.
Philby gives it a ride. Joey Smith back at the warning track. And GTL is the first team to double digits. They're up 10-0.
And there's nobody out.
Well, Philby deep over the right center field wall. It's about 383 on the fly. And he was able to make up for that foul out. I'm sure he's more satisfied with that swing, Bernie, than that foul out in the first inning.
Absolutely. Sam Lopez singled and scored in the first. He's at the plate. And he hits one right back up the middle for a base hit.
Lopez with a rip up the middle, and he's aboard on first. Still nobody out for Victor Cordova.
So that brings up Victor Cordova. Don Wilson right behind him.
Cordova with a nice defensive play here in the top of the second. Now gets a shot at bat to see if he can extend the lead. He can hit it. He's got some power.
And the first two pitches miss.
Cena struggling out there on the mound.
And a high fly ball lifted into center field. Aguilera is there. Runner is going to tag and advance to second.
Cordova flies out to Aguilar in center field. There's one away.
So Cordova flies out,
Wilson
and
with
that
a
is
two-run
out number
single in the
one.
first.
Runner at second, one away. 10 runs in totally for GTL. Combat failing to mark in both the first and the second.
Back up the middle, there's a base hit. Runners will hold at first and third.
Wilson is aboard with a
Donnie
single.
Wilson.
Lopez advances
Donnie
to
Wilson
third.
with his second
So
single.
runners on the corner for
Single in the
Jason
first,
Canizo.
single here in the second.
And Camizo coming to the plate with only one away. And Camizo on the ground, second to one to first, and that is an inning-ending
Four
double
out of 10
play.
with three, they turn the double play.
2 innings in the
Wilson
book.
at
It's
second
10 to
base.
nothing
Camizo is
here
out.
at the
So for
USSSA
GTL
Men's
Cartel,
Major World
they
Series,
strike
presented
hard.
by
They score
Busch
6
Light.
runs.
And it's also brought to you
Brand one.
by Boomba Sports. We'll be back after this message from Easton Sports.
Cartel scatters 6.
Hey, this is Brett Helmer. I'm Brian Wegman. Getting ready to drop some bombs with the 09 Easton bat line.
Top of the third, the top of the order, Decker, Salazar, and Fields. Leading off, Kyle Decker.
Kyle Decker leads off here in the third inning. Combat needs to at least try to get on the scoreboard.
Well, I'm sure they're trying. They've just been unsuccessful. Now this has a chance of falling in. But our right fielder, Mike Boland,
Decker is retired in right field by
gathers
Boland.
it in. Our next game,
Here's one
Bernie
away
T and
from
our
Rio
Stucco
Salazar.
Worth will take on the B World Champions Northwest Combat Trojans immediately following this game. We're in bracket game number 2. GTL leading Combat USA 10-0. Our next game, Stucco versus Northwest Combat.
There's a base hit for Julio Salazar. It's been a rarity in this contest for Combat USA. We'll see whether they can get it going there at the top of their lineup. And the number 3 hitter, Ron Fields, is at the plate. He's singled. One of just 4 singles that Combat USA has in this contest.
As I said in the first inning, Ronnie Fields, plenty of power, able to hit it out of here. Just might give Combat USA a little spark.
And he cranks it into high left field. Donovan Polkraka is under it. And that's out number 2. As you can see, Julio Salazar tags and advances to second.
There's now 2 outs.
Fields just gets under it, skies it out there to left field.
First baseman Charles Cunningham.
And Charles Cunningham is at the plate. Yeah, it's certainly warming up, that's for sure.
Following our next game would be Bud Light taking on Johnny Blaze. Our 1:30 game will finish the first round.
Popped up, center field. Side retired.
Cunningham
Combat is still held at bay. They've yet to score in the contest. GTL comes to the plate, bottom of the 3rd. They are up 10-0.
They score none, they strand 1. We go to the home half of the 3rd for Munger, Dress, and Blount. Leading things off for GTL Cartel, the MVP of the Class A World Tournament, Chad Munger.
Chad Munger coming to the box to lead things off. We are in the bottom of the 3rd, 2009 Men's Major World Series from Disney's Wide World of Sports. And this is where GTL can really do some damage here, up 10-0. But Chad Munger is going to just have a lazy fly ball for out number 1.
At short. There's 1 out.
That brings up Anthony Dress.
For Anthony
Vasquez, the
Dress.
shortstop,
Dress
has
with a single and runs
the putout.
in the 2nd. Dress, a member of the Class A All-World Tournament team.
Dress and Brian Blunt, bottom of the lineup, due up for GTL.
Both gentlemen got on base and scored in the 2nd inning.
As there's a base hit into left field.
Dress, a member of the Class A All-World team.
Up to the plate. The Gold Glove winner of the Class A World Tournament, Brian Blunt.
Brian Blunt, single that scored his last time up, is at the plate.
Plays great defense, all-around player.
Runner on first for GTL. And he hits that one on the ground, and Julio Salazar can't pick it up. Anthony Dress sliding into 3rd, and he's there in time.
Blunt with a double. Dress goes
Blunt picks up a double.
And now the top of the order.
Nice hustle by Anthony Dress into third. And the throw goes to third, and Blunt moves into second.
And we're back to the top of the lineup, and Rick Sedlogic.
Reached on an error in the first, doubled in the second, scored both times.
Got a chance to add to this double-digit advantage. GTL is up by 10.
If I were a betting man, I'll bet Sedlogic drives in a run right here.
High fly ball, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Caught by the right fielder, Joey Smith. And the runner tags, and Anthony Dress has scored.
And right behind him, Brian Blunt hustling on that throw. He scores as well.
Crazy, right?
They're pushing him on the bases. Aggressive play by GTL. And on that Sedlogic fly ball to right field.
How often do you see a 2 RBI sacrifice fly?
The thing is, as deep as this field is, they are, and if they're aggressive, they can easily score 2.
That'll do it for the inning.
But Cracker with a sharply hit ball, but Vasquez snares the line drive. And for
sends
GTL,
us to the fourth, 12-0.
2
GTL is in the
hits.
lead.
They strand nobody. We played through 3. It's a 12-0 advantage for the current Class A World Champions. Due up in the top of the fourth are Aguilar, Granados, and Salcedo. Leading things off.
Well, Bernie, we hit the top of the fourth, and Combat has yet to score. Critical time there, down 12-0. This is the time. What do you think, Bernie?
They definitely desperately need to get at least a run or 2.
They need something to kickstart them. I want to see if Eli Aguilar can do it.
Aguilar checks into the box. Aguilar has a leadoff single to begin the action here in the 4th inning. It's a decent start.
Eli with a leadoff single.
He's only the 5th GTL batter to reach base.
I believe that's the first time they've led off the inning with a runner.
That's correct. Their first leadoff single of the game. Mario, the left fielder, in the box. He watches the first pitch.
Mario Granados. Philby and Munger question the plate umpire, Dan Sullivan.
There's a strike. Some of your well-trained umpires down there.
Oh yeah, they hear it all the time. They have to get used to it.
And that's a base hit into left field.
Granados with a
Granados kind of squirts it into left field. Pakraka moves in and takes the one hopper and throws it into second. So Combat USA now has runners at first and second, nobody out.
Ronnie Salazar at the plate. Nobody out here in the fourth inning. Joey Smith right behind him. A lot of patient hitters today.
Working the pitcher each time.
Popped up into right field, and it's caught by Mike Bolin. Aguilar tags, he advances to third.
Salcedo drives the ball to right field. Runners on the corner,
one away
for Joey Smith.
And here's Joey Smith. Joey Smith driving it to right field. And it gets over the head of Mike Bolin. That scores a run. And in fact, it's going to score the first two runs of the ballgame for Combat USA.
In the corner and right center field.
That ball hit out towards the 385-foot sign. Bolin knew right off the bat he had no chance to catch it. Played it off the wall on a one hop. Throws it back to the infield, but both Aguilar and Granados come in to score. Smith's out at second. And Combat has scored and marked for the first time this game.
Carlos Vasquez into right field to score Joey Smith.
RBI single for Vasquez as Smith comes in.
So the bats are finally going.
And that brings
This may be just what Combat needs. They've scored 3. They only have 1 out. The pitcher Rob Senna is going to come to the plate. And Bernie, they now have the lead in, the deficit, they've dropped it to only 9, single digits.
Game number 2 of 8 games we have for you today. GTL and Combat.
When we finish play today, we will have played 2 full rounds in the winner's bracket. We'll have our final 4 undefeated teams. Tomorrow morning we begin the loser's bracket. There's a play.
And the throw, not in time.
Senna lifts the ball to left field. Pakraka is there to make the catch.
Pakraka
There's now 2 outs and a runner on second.
has out number 2.
For top of the order, Kyle
Nice
Decker.
throw in for Pakraka. A little bit close at second. Vasquez, quick a foot.
Kyle Decker, he's 0 for 2. Desperately could use a base hit here in the 4th inning. And he lifts this one into left field, and it's caught by Donovan Pakraka. So that retires the side. Combat finally able to strike. They score 3. 3.5 innings in the book. 12-3. GTL is in the lead.
We go to the home half. GTL with a 12-3 lead. Due upper Bolin, Philby, and Lopez. Leading off for GTL, Mike Bolin.
Bolin will lead off the inning. Bottom of the fourth, and GTL again a chance to take a big move. Walk has been issued.
Bolin draws the no-out walk, and that brings up Kevin Philby.
And that'll bring up Kevin Philby.
Blast over the wall.
3-run home run, last at bat after fouling out for a strikeout in the first. That's why they have Philby in the cleanup spot.
And that's Bolin's second walk that he's been issued. And he cranks it into right field, and Joey Smith doesn't even have a chance. Smith throws it in. Bolin holds it third.
It's a solid line drive, bouncing right off the wall. Smith on a one-hop holds Philby to first.
To right field.
As Bolin moves over to third.
Strong hit for the Class A All-World Tournament member. Bolin advances to third, so runners in the corners for Sam Lopez. Lopez 2 for 2 in the game, also a member of the Class A All-World team.
David DiDonatis working hard out in center field, getting us the center field camera back, and here's a base hit. That'll score another run for GTL, and they're back again up by 13, or excuse me, up by 10, 13-3.
Victor Cordova.
They continue to march along, scoring runs in every inning. While Combat went 0 in the first, 0 in the second, 0 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. Victor Cordova 1 for 2.
And Cordova lifts it towards right field. Joey Smith at the wall, and that one's into the bullpen.
A 3-run
blast, and a 3-run home run for Victor Cordova.
16
As I said, the slick fielding, smooth running Victor Cordova has some pop. And there he showed it with the 3-run home run.
Wilson 2 for 2 in the game.
That lead is now 13 for GTL as they march on, playing in honor of JC Phelps, everyone on the team wearing number 40.
And here is the scenario. If they can score 2 more here, they'll put Combat USA down to their final 3 outs of the contest, possibly, if they can not score in the top of the 5th. They were blanked in the first, second, and third. They scored their first runs in the last half inning, as there is a base hit back up the middle for Don Wilson. Everybody getting a hit for GTL.
Donnie Wilson 3 for 3. Single in the first, single in the second.
Brings up catcher Jason Chamizo.
And he singles here in the fourth.
Jason Chamizo is at the plate. Chad Munger right behind him.
Still nobody out.
Here's the pitch, and it goes down as a ball. Back up the middle, nice glove, and that's the way to turn a double play. Beautiful.
Well, Kyle Decker takes that hot shot, one hopper, flips it over to second for the out, over to first, double play, 2 outs. And a quick way to get those 2.
And it also clears the bases.
10 to 6 to 3.
Now batting in place of Munger, Rusty Thorpe the batter.
And we're told Rusty Thorpe is going to bat in the place of Chad Munger.
Not a bad move for GTL. Chad's pitching the entire game, it looks like. You saw the replay. So let Chad rest, bring in Rusty Thorpe to pinch hit. And these guys went into left field. Granados chases it down. That retires the side.
Lifts the ball to left field.
So
Granados
GTL
makes the
picked
catch.
up 4 more runs here in the bottom half the fourth. And after 4 complete innings of play, GTL 16, Combat 3. We will return to Champion Stadium here at Disney's Wild World of Sports in just a moment.
Re-entering the game is Chad Munger. Munger back to the mound.
Hey, this is Brett Helmer. I'm Brian Wegman. Getting ready to drop some bombs with the 09 Easton bat line.
Leading off, Julio Salazar.
Julio Salazar leading off the 5th inning. And Combat trailing by 13. Certainly needs to add a couple of runs here just to keep this game alive, you would imagine. On the ground. And the throw to first is in time. Brian Blunt has out number 1.
Grounder up the middle, sticking with it is Blunt. And they get Salazar, 1 out.
So Salazar is retired, and here
Fields with a
is
single in the
Ron
first.
Fields. And the pitch popped up, and it's going to drift out of play. So Fields is down to his final strike. Combat has only scored 3 runs the entire game, and it all came in the 4th inning. They were blanked in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, obviously. If you're just joining us and want to relive some of the action from last night, it's all archived on USSSA.com. Right before you click on the live game, there's an opportunity for you to watch the archive games. And as quick as we can, we'll have these games up as well. Nice play there by Anthony Dresden. Don Wilson tried to apply the tag, but the ball fell out of Don Wilson's glove, and he's safe at first.
Fields aboard on the errant throw. 1 out and a runner on for cleanup hitter Charles Cunningham.
So a runner on first here in the top of the 5th inning, 1 away. And Charles Cunningham with a liner right at the middle infielder for out number 2.
Blount grabs the line drive of Cunningham. There's now 2 away for number 15, Eli Aguilar.
Rick Robertson, the Combat team, is in a lot of trouble here.
Class 18.
Yeah, it looks like it could be awful difficult to come back. They've already been blanked 3 out of 4 innings, and they already have 2 outs here. It's quite warm out there. It's quite warm in here.
Even with air conditioning.
The breeze is blowing the same as it did last night. in from right center towards.
I don't know whether we're
right
calling it a
field
breeze. Are we going to call it a breeze?
Uh-oh.
And Mike Bolin is completely lost.
He got turned all the way around. Ground
and I
rule
think
double.
GTL caught a break there. Bolin was lost, and it just took a high hop, and it'll go down as a ground rule double.
Now for Mario Granados.
Because Aguilar and Ron Fields both could have possibly scored.
I'm feeling for a breeze, and I got the open window in front of me, and I don't feel one.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not trying to.
Well, look at the flag moving.
I do see it moving out there. I could use a breeze.
I could use a stiff wind.
Fouled away. Well, if you could at least punch across these 2 runs that are on board with a base hit, you could make GTL have to work a little harder. They've scored only above that 4 margin one time. That was back in the 2nd inning. 4 in the first, 6 in the second, 2 in the third, and 4 in the fourth.
There it
is. That's
is.
exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get 2 more runs coming across the plate here. And it's 16-5.
2 runs scored, Fields and Aguilar cross.
And that might earn Combat another inning.
And that brings up Ronnie
I believe it.
Salcedo one.
They're going to make GTL come in and have to score a few runs.
Ronnie Salcedo is at the plate. And he hits a high pop fly into right field, and it drifts well out of play into the stands.
Well, our next game, TNR Stucco will be the home team at Northwest Combat.
Off the pitcher, nice scoop in the throw to first in time. Side retire. Go ahead. What do we have coming up next?
Well, we have TNR Stucco, the home team, will take on the B World champions, Northwest Combat. That game to take place immediately following this game. And Chad Munger, the MVP for the men's A World, with a nice play to retire the side.
We'll be back. GTL 4 runs away from advancing on day number 1.
The batter, Anthony Dress.
Anthony Dress going for extra bases, and he slides in safely at second. GTL needs 4 to make it a quick game against Combat USA. Of course, 15 runs, if you can get that advantage, is enough to get the victory in the 5th inning.
That's correct, Bernie. It's 30 after 3, 20 after 4, and 15 after 5. GTL is knocking on the door.
And great play there. Good positioning. I believe Victor Cordoba, is that who that was, the second baseman?
No, that was looks like the second baseman for Ronnie Salcido for
Ronnie Salcido, wrong page on my cheat sheet.
Yeah, but they definitely did. Look at that position, was quite nice.
They knew exactly where he hit it almost. It's almost like it was telegraphed. What a way here in the 5th inning.
Sedlogic 2 for 3, scored twice.
Into the corner and foul right around where Don DiDonatis parks his car. He didn't get the memo.
And deep in that right field corner next to the trash bins out there. One out, runner out there at second. We're in the bottom of the 5th, and GTL up by 11.
Sedlogic
no
again
pitch.
into the corner.
No pitch.
No pitch, and I guess he got lucky because that would have been
a foul out.
A foul out.
Robert Cena questioning the umpire behind the plate.
You never do that, right?
Well, he actually tried to quick pitch, you know, little quick return pitch on Sedlogic. The umpire caught him, and Cena's nodding his head, okay, whatever. Takes a leisurely stroll back to the rubber.
2009 Men's Major World Series presented by Worth. We are in the bottom of the 5th, 16-5 our score. GTL on top of Combat.
Full count.
And drilled again into right field. Joey Smith ran out of room. It's a 2-run home run.
Rick Sedlogic with a big fly ball over the right field wall.
He wanted that in the corner. We saw 3 of them. And the 3rd one was the charm, drilled that way.
And the bases are clear.
Just moved it over a little to the left, so it counts as a 2-run home run.
2 for 3 in the game. He's driven in.
That makes it 18-5, up by 13, 2 to go to get the run rule with only 1 out.
And Donovan Polkraka into the box. And Polkraka lifts it towards left. And Mario Granados is there for out number 2.
Polkraka lifts the ball to left field.
That'll bring up Mike Bolin.
Brings up Mike Bolin.
Bolin is actually 0 for 1. He's walked twice, but he's scored twice.
Reached on an error in the 1st.
GTL 1 out away from living to see 1 more inning. Or excuse me, Combat 1 out away from living to see 1 more inning. GTL's trying to get 2 runs right here. Get themselves to the lunch table.
Anytime you have a chance to bat, you have the opportunity to put up a number of runs. They're going to do it.
Into shallow right field. Joey Smith on the move, and he didn't get there in time. That might be the break that breaks Combat's back.
Philby, having hit a home run in the 2nd inning, the 3-run shot, has a chance to put this game away and finish off Combat USA. They may consider walking him here.
It could be a walk to get to Sam Lopez. We've already seen Philby with a home run.
Lopez has reached base all 3 times. I'd pitch to Philby. I'd make him beat me right here.
Maybe trying for a home run, he'll just get under it and get you a long fly ball.
Then again, they may just kind of pitch around him, make him hit his pitch. Looks like that's what they're doing. Doesn't look like they're even throwing it anywhere close. Ah, that's it. That's what they did, Bernie.
Philby draws the 2-out walk to bring up third baseman
Sam Lopez has plenty of power. He can end it right here as well.
He's driven in 2.
He's already driven in 2 runs and scored twice.
So the winning run is on first for GTL.
Looks like they're bringing
now
out
running at first base,
Robin Roberts.
Roberts, the pinch runner at first base.
They call him Doc. He's a doctor of chiropractic services. He's a chiropractor. Plays third base normally, or shortstop. Sammy.
Into left field. I think the park's got enough room. No,
No,
it
sir.
doesn't. That's it.
Sam Lopez, 3-run home run to finish him off.
Finishes the
21 to 5,
GTL.
In memory of JC Phelps, who played with him last year.
The final tally, 21 to 5.
So Bernie, that's the final, 21 to 5.
GTL over Combat.
Next game will be TNR Stucco, the home team, versus the Northwest Combat Trojans.
Congratulations to GTL. They advanced.
The 2009 USSSA Men's Major World Series, presented by Busch Light, has been brought to you by Worth, Mikan, Combat, TPS, Nationwide, Easton, and Boomba. We'll be back to Disney's Wide World of Sports for Game 3 of 8 right after this.
Straight up noon. Our TNO Stucco Worth against Northwest Combat Trojans.